very excited to have as my guest Michael J. Vaz. Michael is also called Mike, and he is the CEO Director of Thames River Community Service, which is an important job in Norwich, Connecticut. He is here today. I read about him in the newspaper. He met with the governor on August 4th. So here we are talking about what is going on in our state, in Connecticut. Homelessness is the topic that's the elephant in the room that we're just going to break open and talk about. We like to talk about things that are worth talking about and stories worth telling. So Michael, welcome. So glad that you could make it today. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure.
Very nice. So let's talk about homelessness. It's basically a housing problem, right? I mean, if you are a first-time homeowner, I remember the first time my husband and I went to buy a house. We'd been living in apartments for a number of years. I think we had 3 kids about the time that we bought our first house. We had to borrow money from one of their sisters to lend for the down payment. She was very generous, and it was hard for us to pay it back, quite frankly. It was one of those stories where we put the key into the lock and the lock broke. We were on our way to church and we're like, oh no, this is what the future is going to look like here. It actually turned out to be a lovely home and a great story, but you just never know, right?
Well, you never know these days. You know, right now, homelessness in Connecticut is on the rise. Many of our young people who are going through unimaginable situations, uninhabitable situations that they live in, that they have to face every day. At Thames River Community Service, we're more than just a housing program. We're a program that offers hope, we offer stability. We have 24 apartments in our facility in which we look to help individuals who are between the ages of 18 to 24 find stability, coming from unstable situations. Just imagine being 18 years old and facing high school graduation, but instead,
and not having an address, you know, where do you get the diploma? Where do you send it to? That sort of thing. Yeah.
And you're just trying to survive. You're trying to find your next meal, and yet you in this situation, forced to grow up really fast, forced to make decisions upon which is going to have great effects upon your life moving forward, and you have a child. At Thames River Community Service, we provide various wraparound services, life skills workshops, parental workshops, financial literacy workshops, and we also provide employment resources to help people get back on their feet. Individuals come to us in search of help.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you for that important work that you're doing. That's just
Thank you.
So important. How many people do you think you impact annually, or any numbers, statistics on that?
Well, on average, we probably work between 110 and 120 individuals a year, which is evenly split between adult and child.
And child, you're talking 18 to 24, the youth group.
Well, we're talking about the young adults that come to us, 18 to 24. The children usually between 0 and 3 or 4 years old. So
you're doing preschool, early childhood intervention, special education, that sort of thing.
Well, we don't do preschool per se, but we have a children's activity center in which individuals, children can go to the activity center. We have sensory boards and play equipment. We even have a playground in the back. And also, which I failed to mention, we even have an on-site food pantry.
Nice,
for the individuals when they come in.
Well, we have a lot to talk about, and we just are scratching the surface. You just gave us the big outline of what we're going to talk about. You said it's on the rise, and I was looking up statistics on that, and I saw that a couple years ago it was about 4,000. And I just saw recently that we have approximately 5,463 homeless people in Connecticut.
That's correct. That's correct. And that number really applies to the students. We have in Connecticut, as of the last data that I've seen, we have close to 500 young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 who are considered homeless in Connecticut.
Well, how can you even learn, Michael? Excuse me for interrupting you, because I know you are on with your next half sentence, but how can you even learn? I think for somebody to really learn well, they need to have good lighting, a desk, food, clothing. How can you even learn? How can we have those expectations for them to become successful?
Well, it's difficult. Homelessness does affect children in a variety of ways. It can create mental health issues, issues of not feeling that they belong.
Inadequacy.
Always moving around from school to school, neighborhood to neighborhood, so they cannot lay their roots there. So it can really have a devastating effect on a child's upbringing and how they raise and how they grow up and how they interact with people. A lot of times within homelessness, it could be that circle that just keeps going around. We are looking at Thames River Community Service to break that cycle.
How do you do that? How do we break that cycle? What are some steps? Because I think of it almost as a triangle. When I was working, I spent a lot of time in New London, a lot of time in Norwich, and Groton, I think, were the three cities that kids would kind of move in between, those three places. And there was just a real transient population where you'd get the records, and then sometimes you'd be like, oh, I had this kid a couple years ago, and they're coming back. So.
Well, I think it takes first the community to have compassion to work with individuals who are facing these circumstances. Because it's like that old saying, we live check to check. If we miss that next check, we may be, out of a home. And I look at that very seriously because a lot of the individuals and young people that we work with are facing such circumstances like that. Being 18 to 24, you're trying to figure out what's next in life.
Right.
And you're at a point where now you have to figure out where I'm gonna lie at, where I'm gonna get my next meal. But at Thames River Community Services, we provide an opportunity, we provide structure where individuals could stay with us for up to a year.
Nice.
And with the various resources that we provide, the wraparound services, the life skills workshops, parental workshops, financial literacy workshops, and employment workshops, we put individuals on the right track. We can show individuals the door, but they have to walk through it. And we provide the resources and the guidance to do that. Once an individual comes into our residence, they are assigned an advocate who works with them,
nice.
Who does case management, who identifies resources for them to help get them on their feet. But at the end of the day, our overall goal is to help individuals obtain permanent, stable housing. And we have over a 90% success rate in doing that.
Nice. So you said you have 24 different homes. Would that be 24 different families, mother and child, sometimes dads with the kids?
So yes, we have 24 apartments. They generously sized 2 and 3 bedroom apartments. If you ever was to come to our facility, and I definitely invite you if you have time, you will see our facility does not look like a shelter. It looks like a market rate apartment building, generally sized. You go to each floor, the lobby area has a couch, it has artwork. We want people to feel normalized, not feel institutionalized. We want people to feel that, hey, just like in your home or in my home or apartment, you have certain artworks up, pictures, things like that. And we want individuals to feel that way. We want to give individuals the hope and the stability that they need and the support, and we are there to do that.
Okay, that's beautiful. So Thames River Community Service has been around for how long?
We have been around since 1992. We started out as a single woman shelter with child, and we have evolved to where we are today, in which we provide a multitude of different housing programs, including our crisis program. We have a warming center, a triage warming center, which is open during the winter, during the cold winter months, when it can get extremely cold out here. We're taking people in to help them out. We have a supportive housing program as well, and we also have a rapid rehousing program in which we work with individuals as well.
And you're located in Norwich, but what service area are you in? Is it New London County, or where are you
We mostly
specifically?
service New London County, but we are open to all of Connecticut.
Oh, wow, okay. And when we were talking earlier, before we got started, you were saying that homelessness is a problem in every single community. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. Homelessness has been on the rise, as you stated previously. It's been on the rise in double digits since 2021. And this is a problem that's in every community. It doesn't matter if you're a well-to-do community, the problem is there. It's hidden, but it's there. As communities, as towns, we need to provide those support to those individuals. Because homelessness is a housing problem, it's an affordability problem. Which we've seen over the last number of years. The price of apartments, the price of homes has gone up astronomically, and is pricing many people out. Now, many of the individuals we work with at Thames River Community Service have jobs. So these are the working poor.
So would you call them underemployed, or are they employed at their capacity? Are they working minimum wage jobs
Yes.
typically?
Yes.
And what is minimum wage now?
Minimum wage, I think, is a little bit over $15 and some change. I'm not exhausted exactly.
And what is the average rent, do you think?
Depending upon the apartment, you can get maybe a 2-bedroom apartment, probably looking at $1,500.
And how is that even possible?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. So this is an affordability problem more than anything else. People cannot afford. You have people who are trying to do the right thing.
Of course
they're trying
they are.
to earn. They're trying to do right by their families, but they cannot afford. Even the basic studios are going for $1,000, $1,100 a month. And on top of that, for most landlords, you have to put up at least 2 months deposit plus the first month's rent, which completely puts especially individuals within that age range really out of getting an apartment.
Oh boy, wow. The more we talk, the harder it sounds. So we talked about couch surfing a little bit, and I told you how I actually met the people who started couch surfing. And I think it was just kind of as a way for people to travel and visit other parts of the country or other parts of the world, and stay with somebody that was a friend or friendly person. And it's evolved into being a home or a shelter for people who are maybe not allowed to stay with their parents, right?
Yeah. Well, we have a great number of individuals who've experienced that couch surfing, staying on a friend's couch with a child, being kicked out of their home, parents favoring somebody else to be in their home and kicking them out. We have individuals who come from uninhabitable situations, sleeping in their cars with a child. We have individuals who come from domestic violence situations. We have individuals that come who've just been released by DCF. So it's a multitude of different individuals, a multitude of different unique set of needs and circumstances that each of our individuals come from. But we have a very skilled and talented staff that's able to work with those individuals and find success for them.
Okay, so it's a systems problem, it sounds like, yeah.
Yes.
So you're saying that you're trying to break the cycle early, and tell me a little bit about the intake process. Let's say I was 20 years old, had a child, and didn't have a place to stay. What would you do? What would it look like?
Well, first, before any individual comes to our facility, they should be calling 211.
Okay.
So there they are assessed, but we are considered one of the hubs in southeastern Connecticut. So individuals can come to us or call us, and they could be assessed as well. And given these circumstances, we'll see what we can do for them. If we cannot work with them, we'll make the appropriate referrals to maybe a program or organization that can work with them.
Okay, so then the 211 number gives me a lead to say call Thames River Community Service, and I call up, and then what would the next step be?
Well, then a referral is made to us, and then staff will set up a time and date to meet with them or speak to them on the phone about their circumstances, and then we'll go from there.
Well, and that's an interesting point of it too, because people have to have a cell phone. They have to have a phone. People don't have landlines anymore. You can't leave a number at the library or someplace like that and have somebody call or.
Well, I mean, depending upon their circumstances, they can leave a number for us to contact them. But fortunately, for many of our residents, they do have some type of access to a mobile phone.
Okay, okay. It just sounds so logistically complicated. Even if you want to get help, you don't have a place to live, you don't have food, you don't have clothing. Yeah, how do you dig out of that? Yeah.
Well, most people, they have some type of form of communication, whether it could be via email or, like you said, maybe a library or a mobile phone.
Okay, okay. So Ned Lamont is really wanting to address this issue, is kind of what I'm understanding for this as a problem, because he's understanding that it's all across our state. And people think of Connecticut, they think of beaches, I think, and nice boats. They don't think of people not having like.
Well, they think of Groton as the submarine capital of the world.
Oh, there you go. There you go. They don't think of the 5,000 people that need a home, right?
Right.
And so, what do? We can't criminalize people. What would that be like if we were to say, hey, you don't have a home, lock you up?
Well, I think when you criminalize people, people do not understand what leads up to homelessness. And again, it is a housing problem. Why do you criminalize a person who may be trying, who is working, who is earning, who is paying their taxes, but yet they cannot afford a home? And the cost would be a lot more exorbitant if you criminalize it. You put people in jail, there's a cost.
Right.
As opposed to providing some services, providing some programming that can help individuals get on their feet, or educational programs, and maybe they can learn a skill or a trade. But if you criminalize them, yet the cost will be passed on to the state, and then you're not really doing the justice or the work that needs to be done to help support this individual.
Exactly. Well, if they're incarcerated, they might get some support and they might learn some skills, but it's going to be a lot more expensive than if they were living on their own, or
a lot more expensive, and then you have an arrest history.
right.
You have a criminal history.
A stigma.
Right, and you didn't do anything wrong by just, you're only guilty of being homeless.
Right.
You didn't hit nobody over the head. You
Right.
didn't do anything. You didn't steal from anybody.
Right.
You're just homeless, and things happen. And for most people right now, we're living check to check. The things can be good now, but then next week you could be out of a home.
We never know, right?
Right,
Do
you
we?
never know.
We never know.
Right, so you cannot take anything for granted, and you cannot look down on people who may be homeless, because they're looking for the same opportunity that you have. Certain things may have came up, certain traumas, but you cannot criminalize that. You cannot.
No.
That is wrong.
No, I agree.
Absolutely wrong.
I agree. My own personal history, we had a fire when I was a kid, when I was 12 years old. The fire completely decimated the house. And so we all had to evacuate. My brothers and I just nearly escaped. So we got out of the house just in time. One of my brothers died in the fire, but the rest of us got out. So we were homeless. We slept at a friend's house. I slept at another friend's house. I don't know where my brothers went. I know where I was, but it's that same situation. So here we were in a nice neighborhood in a nice brick house, and we never know, right? That's my point.
Right, homelessness can happen to anybody. I do that. Never take anything for granted. It can happen at any time to anybody. A fire can make you homeless. A loss of a job, a loss of a significant other, because now the income is not the same. So there are many situations where an individual can become homeless. And these are good people. These are not bad people. These are good people who want to contribute, and they do contribute. They just can't afford the market prices of where to live at today, and how to house themselves.
And everybody wants to, I think, be self-sufficient and do what they can for themselves and take care of their neighbor. I think that's pretty universal, how people are kind of, first yourself, and then, what you don't want or need, you pass on to the next person, and you share it to build it better.
Absolutely, and I think, right now, I just want to give credit, I think, to the legislature and the government, the governor, excuse me. I think they are looking to really address this issue, probably more than maybe the last several years. They're really harping on this now. You hear a lot more about it now. But I like to really talk about the age group that I work with, because I think they're the elephant in the room, 18 to 24. Nobody really talks about that group, the group that's looking to where they're going to go out in life, looking for the direction. They're looking for resources. They're looking for support. They're looking for empathy. They're looking for compassion. And we need to be there to do that, because if we're looking at the future of our country, it's going to rest with that group. Individuals having the opportunity to graduate from high school, to explore what they want to do in the future. And this is the time to do that. And I think we need to call more attention to that age demographic.
So 18 to 24, and it's supposed to be 1% of the population of homelessness. Is that an underestimate or an exaggeration, in your opinion?
I think that's an underestimate.
Okay.
And that's an underestimate. I looked at data, country, throughout the country. In most areas, 18 to 24, 9.6% of that is homeless. So within the homeless conversation context. We don't have exact data here, but we do have a lot of individuals. We are always full. Our staff, we're staffed 24 hours a day. So it is a problem.
Okay.
And it is an issue.
How many staff do you have that takes care of the 24 different apartments that you have?
We have about 10 full-time staff.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And they're busy, and they're basically trained social work and financial advisors, and yeah.
Well,
yeah.
part of what we do, we bring in professionals to do financial literacy. We have partnered with banks.
Nice.
We partner with domestic violence organizations such
Nice.
as Safe Futures
Sure.
that come in and do domestic violence workshops. We have UConn that comes in to do cooking classes
Nice.
for us. We also provide art therapy
Nice.
as well so mothers and children can bond.
Oh, sweet.
So we provide a variety of programs. We even go out on different outings.
Nice.
So to give the individuals a great experience, a different experience outside of Norwich. It could be a small farm, it could be an amusement park, it could be a museum. So again, we provide a variety of services to try to make the individuals whole.
Sounds lovely. Do you have any examples, Mike, of some really good stories of somebody, because you said the program was in 1992, do you have any alum who went through the program, benefited from the services in the facility, who then graduated per se and have gone on to have successful careers? Do you have anybody like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have one individual when I first got there. I'm just going to call her Catherine.
Yeah, no, whatever name. Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah, their real name.
Yeah, she came from Atlanta, Georgia, with her child. She was having some issues with her significant other, so she moved from Atlanta, Georgia, to the New London area.
Okay.
She came and enrolled with us. She went to Three Rivers College. She got a CNA certificate.
Nice.
And she is no longer with us because she has transitioned out to get her own apartment. She saved her money. So that's one example of an individual who took the program seriously. They received all the resources, including financial literacy, parenting, providing employment resources. And she graduated from the program, and now she is, she's doing what she needs to do.
She's doing great.
Right, she's living her life.
Living the dream.
And we have many stories.
Nice stories like that.
We have many stories that way. Recently, we had our fundraiser back in May. We had one of our former residents come to see us, and they spoke about how we helped her get on her feet. We helped her get an apartment. A tearjerker story. She brought her son with her. Absolutely special, great individual, great young lady who, against all odds, she succeeded. And now she's a manager at a local supermarket.
Good for her.
So.
Good for her. That's just great. I love hearing stories like that. It takes grit, doesn't it? It takes determination and just saying, it's the plate I was given, right? And just say, not to say like catastrophize it, but why do I have this? But this is what I have, and this is what I can do. Next steps, right?
Absolutely, and when you come into a program such as ours, we provide the resources. You just have to do the work.
You have to do the work. It's not easy, right?
It's not easy, but you have to do the work. We have to be patient. We have to show empathy because many of them come from situations where they're looking to trust somebody again.
And that's hard.
And it's hard.
If you've been kicked out or robbed or whatever the scenario is.
But fortunately for our staff, they're trained. They have the patience and the empathy to work with individuals who are going through these circumstances to see them succeed. And it's so great when you see a resident leave, go into their first apartment with their child. A great feeling to see that.
Wow. Well, thank you for the work that you're doing. And Mike, you said that there's events that happen periodically. Can you tell me about anything that might be coming up, and how can we support you?
Right now, we don't have any events per se planned. We do usually our fundraiser in the springtime. But periodically, we may work with a local restaurant or organization to probably do a fundraiser.
Okay.
Just recently, we had a fundraiser with this Norwich Sea Unicorns baseball team in Norwich.
Nice.
So that turnout was very great. We appreciate the community support. But if you're ever looking to support what we do, we would tell individuals to go to www.trfp.org.
TRFP, okay.
.org. and to check us out to see the work that we do, the multitude of programs we do to help individuals in such situations and to put them on a path to be self-independent and to be in stable situations.
Nice, very good. Well, thank you so much for your work and your time and being here with us today. Is there any last word that you'd like to provide or message for our viewers?
Well, I want to say, well, thank you again, Kate, for inviting me to your program. And please, don't take anything for granted.
You never know.
You never know what can happen. But we want to continue working with individuals and keep making an impact within that age range and to help them to get on to a stable and permanent situation.
Well, I love that. And you're not just doing it for the 18 to 24-year-olds, you're doing it for the next generation too, because they're parents. So we've got little ones. We've got
Absolutely.
0 to how old are the older children that are involved in the program?
Well, we probably look at somebody 0 to 4,
Okay.
maybe 5 the latest. But we've been doing this work for 33 years.
That's a long time.
And for our founder, Tom Highland, he recognized that there was an issue that was not being addressed, and we are here today to continue doing that work and expand on our early work that Tom Highland did to make Thames River such an impactful and successful organization, and working with young adults who are between the ages of 18 and 24.
Thank you so much. Okay, Thames River Community Service. So look it up, folks, and donate, volunteer, get involved. Mike Voss is your guy. So thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate you.